Hey everybody, happy Monday. If you're watching the replay, don't just like, make sure you follow and hit the little bell beside my name. That way it'll notify you when we go live or we have a new video. I'm gonna wake everybody, a few people jump on. I'm gonna put it up on my laptop so I can turn my comments off on my phone. That way I can see everybody. Hey Robin. Let's see. There she is. Hey, cutie. Howdy, howdy. Sherry, you scared me to death with your post earlier. I happened to see it. It came up on my feed about, I've decided not to craft anymore. And I mean, I really got it. So then I was reading it to Chris, and he said, that is hilarious. Because I really was like, she's not going to craft anymore. Hey, Helen. Knoxville here saying, hey Debbie. Y'all, if I think Connie is the one that asked me if I got anything. Chris went down and checked the mail. I didn't get anything in the mail, but we could be really slow. If you sent it, like when I sent y'all stuff, it took 2 or 3 weeks to get to y'all. I mean, and mine was supposedly priority mail. So, all right, tonight we are going to make this. This is something I made last year, but I want to make another one because I love the fact that I put cotton on this one. It's really red. It's kind of Uncle Sam, but it's really kind of farmhousey rustic. And I really wanted to be just slightly a little bit more patriotic this year. So we're going to put a lot of little things on it, and I'll show you this again. But first thing you need to do, see how like I have like the edge of the pair of jeans. If you got an old pair of jeans, these are Chris's from last year. I went and I was like, I'm going to go get an old pair of his jeans. Well, this year I cut up a pair of mine. In where we live, they do not have the Folgers in this kind of coffee. They only have like the Great Value kind. But Mimi needed some coffee and she said she didn't care. So I got the can and put it in her Folgers container. Because I really like the fact that it's tin. It's easy to work with. The other ones, the Folgers, it has the plastic and it kind of has the handle on the side. So I don't think your fabric would lay as flat. So, and the thing is, we don't need the lid. And it smells really good. Hey, Martha from North Carolina. Janet from Tennessee. Hey, Debbie. Oh, you beautiful heifers. Oh, you so sweet. Oh, my God, I made it. Laugh out loud. Hello from sunny Florida. Nancy, you're not late. No, you made it. And, y'all, I'm looking. I've been working in the yard again, so I think I got a little sun today. All right, so we're going to start off with this. First thing, easiest is to do the top. So I'm going to find a piece of, and y'all, well, you know when you wear a pair of jeans to death, this is like the heel of them, like the bell-bottomy heel part that scrubs the floor. But I don't wear them anymore, so we're all right. And look, we got some good scissors that'll cut this beautiful. Hey, Rosemary from Lakeland, Florida. Diane from Tennessee. Hey, Sandy. Let's see. So I'm going to give myself, I'm going to have to cut this a little bit more because when you go down the side, remember I told you I needed that top piece? The other side of the jean is more of the hem that's on the inside, and I like the part that shows this. So I'm really going to have to cut the side, so I don't need this part, so we can make our top out of this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this down. I'm probably going to get as close to that bottom edge. It's all yucky and I done used it to death, but I'm going to go a little bit bigger because I want it to hot glue it down on here so we can cover that part up. So you can take a marker, Sharpie, whatever you feel comfortable with. I got a pen right here and I think these jeans are light enough. I'm just going to eyeball it and go about, an inch or so outside, some more of the edge. Whoops. And try not to move it. I moved mine a little bit. All right. So we're just going out. And it really doesn't matter how far. I wouldn't go too far, but you do need that lip to be able to glue it down on the side. So let me see, where's my scissors hiding? Hey, Stephanie. Hey, April. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Cian, glad I got you live. And look, everything's back to normal on the mirror, the feed, and it hasn't changed. I don't know if they had to go back in on the update, and it's in the exact same spot. So, because I mean, a couple of people were giving me all these weird instructions that were weird to me, because you know I'm kind of, the technology is a challenge for me. So we're gonna put that to the side, and I always keep that. I have the other leg because we're gonna need it for the bottom, but see, I just did it a little bit bigger than what I can call for. So we're just gonna cut this. Buffy, did you see my bed? Y'all, I started a bed today from start to finish. I got the tractor out, planted, and it's going to be a moon garden. It's all white. It's white hydrangeas. It's 3 different types of limelight hydrangeas. One is like the big one, the star that everybody likes. Then there's one that's a little bit smaller. It's more of like a dwarf. And then there's one that was called like a bobo or something, and it only gets like 3 feet tall. They all look the same, they just will get different in height. And then I put 2 white hydrangeas, like put the big one in the center, 2 of the ones that get like medium height to the right and left of that one. Then out front on the corners, I put those little bobos, the little tiny ones. And then in between the big one and the 2, I put 2 white hydrangeas. It's gonna be so pretty. But I got them planted, fertilized, toned, smoothed, covered the bed with liner, and irrigated it. The only thing I didn't have was the mulch, and Chris is gonna go pick up me some mulch tomorrow, so I will have done a bed from start to finish. And behind it is the scuppernons that, but I'll post some pictures once I get the bed liner down. I'll post some pictures. Right now it's kind of looking like tubes going everywhere for my irrigation. Seeing they have a white hosta. Oh, no they don't. Oh my gosh, where can I get it? Because today when I was going into the Bass irrigation place to get me some irrigation, the first time I had to go twice. Well, actually 3. Chris had to go back the 3rd time. There was a man in there from a town about 20-25 minutes from us, Millen, Georgia, that he raises daylilies of all colors. And I said, do you have white ones? And he said, yeah, but he didn't have a lot left. So I'm really kind of hoping that I can get to Millen before he sells out, because I think lining those up on the front will be so pretty. But no, I did not know they made a white hosta. Like, what size does it get, Sherry? You'll have to send me, well, I can look them up. You know, you can Google anything. All right, so I'm gonna set this down. And I think if I glue it all the way around, it's not like a big deal if you glue it right here, if you're going to get it all on your side. But oh, I am so excited about that. Chris probably does not want to hear. Okay, see how I've just glued that down? And I'm not going to worry about the bottom, and I'm just going to go kind of like we did last night for our frame. I'm going to go on the opposite side. And believe it or not, this is that kind of stretchy jean, so I'm going to pull it, but I don't have to really pull it that hard. Because then it will just start stretching and pulling. Yes, love hostas. I love it. Well, hosta's like shade, and where I put those, it's got some shade on that side, doesn't it, Chris? But it's I get afternoon sun. But I'm willing to try it because I love any kind of white flower, and I love hostas. Isn't it the Emperor? Is it Emerald or Emperor one that gets really big and it's variated in the color? It's just so pretty. I get my names mixed up, so don't trust me on that, but there's one of them, and I have 2 of them. They get really big, and they have like the lime, almost yellow color on them. They're so pretty. Me either. I need white hostas too. Yes, that sounds awesome. I've not found one here. In my gardening group, a lady had them. Check online. If I find it, I'll post it. What zone are you in? I mean, hostas got to go up to at least a zone 4, right? I mean, and I know they come back, but it says we're an 8, but really hot as it is here and as long, I always say we're more of a 9. Ow, doing so good. All right, and kind of like a cake thing, once you kind of get your corners, we can start, because, you know, I really want it to lay pretty smooth so my sides will lay down pretty perfect. So I'm just going to kind of go around, and where I have some humps, just kind of get it maybe as flat as I can. But Jean, you know that material, you can get Surebond for it, but you know, remember you're gluing fabric too. And this is really almost like a that shiny paper covered tin, so I would still just use regular glue. Hey sweetheart from Louisiana. Hey Joe. Louisiana. Where's my gal that lives right down the road from the crocodile hunter? Okay. Try to smooth out these humps the best I can. I mean, if you have a little bit of one, I don't think that's going to make a big deal, but you just don't want to have a major fold in it. But if you just keep working around, you know, it'll go down flatter if you find like these little spaces like this. Just kind of pull it a little loose right there and then get some glue on that biggest part. And it'll lay down flatter. You just got to work with it just a little bit. Ooh, and it's just coffee smells really good. God, I can see it in my eyes how tired I am. Chris, he had to do drone shoots. You know, he shoots drone pictures for real estate agents. That's his like retired thing he likes to do. And so he had like 2 drone shoots. Then he went to Mimi's. So he came home, he said, I cannot believe you did all this by yourself. And I'm like, the tractor did the hard part. But getting up and down off the tractor, you know, like I'll be sore. I can tell my back is a little sore from bending over. You know, when you have to put that bed liner down. And over there, it's kind of been a mess. I had the prettiest side right there, like when we first moved in, and you know how when you get in the garden, you're like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna go get some fertilizer, and I'm gonna fertilize my yard where I burn it. And then like weeds came back, and I really have not done anything with it over there. Buffy planted her little lemon tree over there, so in the middle of all my moon garden is her lemon tree, and it's got so many lemons on it, so I'm gonna wait till it, you know, after it has lemons, and in the fall I'm gonna move it, because like it's all like just spaced out correct, looks so pretty. And then there's this little lemon tree to the on the left hand side, but I'm not gonna cut it until it's all finished. Then I'm gonna move it because it's not big. It's only about 4 feet tall right now. Cut a small slit in the humps and it will lay down. All right. You're so smart. He's so smart, Jenny. You know, Forrest Gump. That's what I'm talking about, girlfriend. I got the best crafters ever. All right. Don't do this at home, kids. Pull a sharp knife back towards your chest. All right. I think if you're dealing with a thinner fabric, you probably won't have this problem. I mean, and it's not really a problem because this fabric right here is so thick, I don't think it's going to show. So we're getting out that top, and like I said, I didn't even put any glue on the top, just on the sides, and I've got a really good bond. So this is the part that you're going to have to find that place on your jean that gives you that like clean edge. And I say do all the top part, so that way when you put your top down on it, it hides all your edges. So, I really like this part of the jean here. Not this little part I didn't cut off right, but let me see if it's long enough. If not, I'll have to cut the other leg up. Because we used a little bit of this leg when we made the tiny hat. Let's see. I think we're gonna be okay. I think it is gonna work out to be almost perfect. So what I'm gonna do, see I have that little piece right there on the top. I'm gonna cut that off because I want it to be as close as it can be to that little double hem side. I guess it's probably like the outside of the jean, outside leg. And I would say if you had some little kid clothes, you probably could use this, but you need a good little long piece right here for this, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna need some adult jeans. And I like this light color, but you know, 4th of July, navy, you know, you could use like a darker pair too. You just kind of have to see what I'm weird about. I like this jean right here. It just seems more like coverall, you know, like farming type color. So, and I don't wear this color as much, so that's why I don't mind cutting my old jeans up. Okay, you just have to determine what you want your front and back, and right now we just have a circle, so I'm just gonna pick a side, and that's where we're gonna start. Now I'm gonna leave this bottom right here because that'll make a pretty good seam for the back. So here, let me cut this. Well, hold on, y'all. Is it going all the way to the bottom? Yes. Gotta make sure it goes all the way to the bottom. My big old legs, my size 14 jeans will definitely go to the bottom, but make sure your, you know, your material is long enough for, you know, to go from the very top all the way to the bottom. I'm not having a problem with my big old jeans. Let me straighten that edge up, but this is the one I'm going to cover up. Hold on, I spoke too fast. I think I cut that just now a little too short. Yes, I did. This side is fine. Let's see how bad I messed up. Look, y'all, just like 4 inches. So I got to get the other leg out. Oh! All right, let's see. Y'all look, check out these jeans. No leg, and then one leg, like I'm like a one-legged chick. And if these jeans wasn't so tight on my butt, because you know they're like stretchy, I might could wear them as cut-off jeans, but y'all, I'd look worse than Daisy Duke if I tried to wear these jeans. Maybe I could work in the yard in them. Okay, so let's don't mess these up, Sin. Okay, so that is the top. So cut on this side of the leg. Y'all let me make the mistakes so y'all can be perfect. And I'm not even reading your comments. What we making? Angela, we are making a Uncle Sam hat. All right, so let's go all the way down. And remember, you got to have that double hem at the top. You don't have to. It just kind of neatens up your edges, and you don't have to worry about, you know, tucking stuff in and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so here we are again, and I cut it all the way down like I was supposed to. This is where I want it to start and stop. So I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna leave this open because this is the part I want to be my back, and it has that like straight edge hem. So right up at the top, I'm just gonna put a bead of glue. Alrighty, right, and we can go around. Now I can see. Did you sew for your girls? Yes, when they were little, I did a lot. Don't cut the bottom until after you glue it all around may help. Cindy, I know you think. Let's hope I didn't mess up again. All right, gosh, now the coffee smell's starting to overwhelm me. Okay. All right, and see, it just gives you that neat edge, and there's nothing you have to do to the top. You're done with that part. Y'all hear them with that air fryer. We are addicted to that thing. I mean, well, it's not the air fryer, yes, but the little French fries you can put in them. I believe we have eaten those potatoes every night, and I put some avocado oil on them and that potato slayer, and it's just, oh, this is perfect. And so we get to have French fried potatoes every night. And they're like the healthy way instead of, there's no coating on them at all. It's just the straight, we just slice up the, I got a little hump right there, but I can live with it. Okay, I'm almost to the back. And I'm going to judge what'll get me tucked under here. I think that's going to be it. I'm going straight up. And I'm not worried about how I'm cutting that part because that part I'm going to tuck under here. And it looks like I need to cut a little bit more. I'll pull it out before I do it again. All right, pull that loose a little bit. All right, I'm gonna glue this top edge down, and then we'll see about the bottom. And I'm not gonna close it up yet because we've got to kind of get our little straight. Look at the little knee part, y'all. That's gonna be so awesome. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna go this way around. And listen, I don't wanna try to pull it tight or anything. Like I told you, these are kind of loose jeans. So what I'm gonna do, stretchy jeans. So what I'm gonna do is just like the top. I'm not gonna put any glue right here. I'm gonna really just put it around the bottom edge. Whoop. I need some more glue sticks though. Hey from Summertown. Hey, Lavonda. That's a pretty name. Hello everyone, hope you are having a good evening. You too, Patty. All right, so I'm just gonna pull that down. And I'm gonna go, oh, maybe I should have done it this way first. All right. Pulling it straight. Really don't have to put a lot because once you just put a couple little areas, all right. Just pulling up straight on it. All right, we're gonna hide this edge. Let's see. Glue, 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 glue. Just kind of like, I guess, putting like a cake. You just keep pulling it and it'll straighten up. Let's shoot a little bit of glue right there. All right. Now we can close it up and we have that tight little, the hem going all the way down. and it's covered up all our little imperfections on our hem. Donnie? Welcome. My little sister's name is Lavonda. Isn't that pretty? Donnie, she is making hold on. Okay, I think that messed up. An Uncle Sam hat. I think the uncle changed it, auto-corrected on you. All right, so you see like pants, you know, get a little wider or whatever. So all you got to do is just trim that part off. Now, I mean, we're going to put something all the way around, so you really don't have to worry about this, but you don't want a whole lot of extra material right here because you want it to sit down flat on here when we glue it to the bottom. And we're using our favorite, just a piece of cardboard. All right, so there you go on our hat, straight up and down, and see the hem in the back, and then the hem all the way around the front. Now, you know, this is a little thick right here, so you're gonna have that little kind of hump, but it still looks really uniform, so that doesn't bother me. So no, like, you know, seams on the top, and we didn't put any glue here or really on the side. We just put it down on the bottom and then the top edge. I mean, it's not like you're gonna be pulling on this for any real reason. Okay. All right, so we can put this to the side because that's pretty much done. Now, I've got a piece of cardboard out here, this poster board, foam board. You can get it at Walmart, you know, Staples, any kind of school supply section. It doesn't matter what color you use. I would say if you're going to use some thin material, maybe get white so you don't see it. If you want to use like a thin, darker material, they do have black. I'm going to use my one last year that we did just kind of for the like a little pattern. See about what am I hitting over there? Is there a hump or something? Oh, it's a crease in the board. All right, now it doesn't matter how you want to cut this. Normally, I always tell you, don't really use your scissors on it because it'll pinch the board. But we're covering the edges up. But when you do it, it squeezes it and kind of it can tear if you use your scissors. I mean, if you have like a box cutter or something that I had earlier, those will cut right through it. But I have not changed my blade in a while, so let's see if it's got any sharpness to it. I don't think it does. Y'all, and are y'all like scared of certain things that pop? Y'all, that's one thing I don't mess with. When I take this out here for Chris to pop the next blade off, I always get him to do it. I'm always over there like, you know, thinking it's gonna just shoot up, and of course it just breaks and sits right there, and he looks at me like I've lost my mind. And I'm like, you know, it could come up and pop you, and I'm scaredy cat. Hey, Sandy from Illinois. Hey, from Portsmouth, Ohio. All right, is it warming up any for y'all in Ohio? I know y'all said it was cold, rainy yesterday. Was it yesterday, day before? I know you're not getting it like Texas. I don't know what Texas did this year. They need to say sorry to whoever it was. They done got all kind of stuff. They done hurt somebody's feelings. Mother Nature. Somebody. All right. So you can go around, we can clean up the edge. Now, I will tell you this. If you ever want to put this on anything, set it on something, make a, you know, a 4th of July tree, put it on a vase, display it, whatever. Now is the time to cut a hole in it if you want one. And I did, just in case I ever wanted to sit it on anything, prop it, whatever. Now is the time to do it. You don't want to try to cut holes in this thing after you've got everything together. So, what I'm just gonna do, real quick, just go around. I'm not gonna cut the hole this big. This is just lets me know how big to not cut it. So, I'll probably just cut one right in the center, about that big. And like I said, that's just for future, you know, displays and, you know, crafts you might want to do with it. You could put it maybe on a, if you're into making different seasonal trees. I think I may try, you know, last year I put up my Christmas trees in the fall and did fall, you know, fall trees, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And then after that, I took it down. I didn't leave it up for the spring. So I think I may bring one out, my little skinny one, and do something for the 4th of July. I have so much stuff that I've got to have some way to display it. But I think it'll be pretty cool. It was really cool to put out the Christmas tree and do so much stuff with it before, you know, you turn around and a month later, like at Christmas time, you're having to put it up. So I encourage it because I got the little, I didn't bring like a big Christmas tree out until Christmas, but I have these little skinny ones that I put on either side of my fireplace, you know, or say if you do like a skinny one towards your door, it doesn't take up that much room. And it was pretty cool to put fall things on it. You know what I mean? You could do like a sunflower one, a pumpkin tree. Halloween was pretty cool. We did like witch hats all over it. So I'm going to try a 4th of July one in July, though, because I figured, you know, it'll go on into fall, and I did really like I liked putting my tree up in August and not putting it up until January, because sometimes it's tiring when you get all your stuff down in Thanksgiving, and the next thing you know, you're having to put it all up at Christmas or a few days after Christmas. So that was pretty cool. And it was pretty cool making like little ornaments for different occasions. Okay, so I don't think on Chris's pants, I was able to find a pretty big piece to put all the way over this, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it because I cut my leg up. So let's put this piece on here and we'll kind of, maybe we'll do a half and half thing. Like so. All right. And I'm gonna do just a little bit bigger, just like on my other one. So I can pinch my ends together. And this is just my own fault for not preparing my jeans better. When I messed up that other leg, I would have had the entire other leg to make the complete circle. But we'll do it fairly neat, and we'll have a little seam, but it won't be too bad because we're going to put a lot of stuff over it. Because this one I really want to make like a, almost like a rag ribbon, big ribbon bow that drifts down, that has a lot of things in it. So we can live with it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do this edge all the way around, and then we're gonna set this on here. I did it probably about 1/4 of an inch off of each side because I'm gonna pinch the top and the bottom together. All let me get to my circle. How about an old denim shirt? Perfect. You could probably do just an old, like if you had like red, white, and blue plaid. I just like the jean. But I mean, you can buy jean material, y'all. The only thing I like about the jeans is you have that edge of the hem. But I mean, you can buy denim jean material. Didn't I say that one night and we were laughing? The denim material. You know, jean material. Those aren't scissors that do any real cutting. Okay. So let's just put that down. And we'll overlap the other one. That way we don't have to worry about, do we have it cut right and all that good stuff. All right. Here's another, I'm telling you, that coffee is getting a little, now it's getting a little strong to me. Lordy, my ass is plenty big enough. Oh my God. You so, right, yes. All right, so I am going to, and this is just from my sewing days. I'm going to do this down so when I flip it over, I'll have a neat little hem at least, okay? So what we're gonna do is take the edge of this material, try to do it as straight as I can so I get like really good little hem. Okay. I don't know why I put glue in the center, because we don't have to cut that part. Take that glue off. Okay. So what I did this half, and what I'm gonna do is now flip it back this way. So when I put it down, we'll have this like at least a hem, you don't see the raw edges. All right. So let me put some glue on this side. So I can pull it back this way pretty straight. Have a little good little hem. Now I'm gonna go around my edge and the little edge in the center and just lay it down. And that's how Cynthia fixes a problem, because she didn't cut her jeans right. So I'm cut around the edge, and like I said, I'm cutting it a little bit bigger so I can pinch the bottom and the top pieces together. That one I cut a little bit longer. So let me go back. Well, the potatoes are saying they are ready. Okay. Now, I hope I got enough of the leg to do the other side. Let me cut out my little hole here in the center. All right. So, we've got our little center. Now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to do it the same way. Now we are under tornado warning on the, oh my goodness, and big old hail right across the interstate. Oh my gosh. All right. So what's a good thing? All right. I don't want to, let me cut this little, this is where I went wrong earlier. That one little thing that I should have cut this on the other side. And I would have had my whole leg and we wouldn't be doing this. Cut my jeans up. All like, okay. So just like before, I'm gonna glue it all down. And I'll go back on the other side. Y'all, I found a really cute wire basket with 15 lemons in it for $5. You go, Debbie. That's a steal. Shoot, the lemons are worth the $5, and you got the basket too. So just like before, I'm just gonna turn it over on the bottom and do a little cutting. Now you can do this with any material you have. I just really like the denim. Well, I'm gonna get the goodie out of these jeans. And I wore them. Y'all saw what the hem of them looked like. I wore them to death. Okay, now, and we got one piece left. How about that? Okay, let me see if I got a straight piece here. Looks pretty straight, so just like before, we're gonna take it, lay it this way first. Let me see where my other little hem thing is, about right there in the same place. Okay, and we're gonna go down, do us a straight little piece. Push it down. See, and I have like the right sides together. See the right side of the denim. This is kind of the way you would sew. And then we're just gonna turn it back that way. And we'll have another straight little hem, but we have to cut the hole out in this one. Make a hole for my scissors to get in. So, okay. All right, let me put this here, so we can fold it over. And that's a sweet little hem. And then we're gonna turn it over and just cut around the edges to match the other side. Now, normally you would have like, you would open up one whole leg and do this. Okay. All right, now let me cut our little hole in here before I get to the point where I can't cut the hole. All right. Woo! I can feel my back. Bending over, putting that. That's the worst thing I hate about gardening, is having to put that black tarp down. If 2 months from now the weeds wouldn't be taking over, I wouldn't even do it. I hate that part. Absolutely hate it. Okay, I'm gonna go around the little lip. Go around the edge. And I want to go around here, and since I did it a little bit longer, that way I can just pinch the edges. I put rope around this other one, but I don't think we're going to put that around this edge. Maybe we'll put something else, but this is the way you can close up your little edge. And then, you know, it'll just have the border. So let's go in there and do that and hope and we're just gonna pinch it. So see, it just closes up. Now be careful, my glue gun is pretty hot, but when you get into the side of your foam board, it can melt that. So I'm just trying to put just the slightest little bead on there. Some places I did a longer hem, so I probably can just put it on the fabric and not put it on the foam board. I go all out at Christmas with 9 trees. I have one in every room. No, I don't do that. I think it's because our room is so big in here. It's our kitchen, our dining room, and our living room all in one. I'll have 5 trees in here. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I had 5 at Christmas in this one big room. But 4 of them are those really skinny trees. Because I love to put up a tree, but you know, your real Christmas tree, it takes up, how wide it is. It, just takes up all kind of stuff. I love those like 7-foot tall trees, but they're only about that wide. You still can decorate everything on them. They just don't take up that much room in your home. Those are my favorite trees. They're almost like a little pencil tree. And those are the ones I love to decorate in the fall and stuff because, like I said, you can put up a really cute little fall, a scarecrow tree. You could do themes just like you do at Christmas. Sometimes you have like a snowman tree or something like that. You can do like a scarecrow tree, pumpkin one, all kind of stuff. Fall, different colored leaves for the fall. I just tried it for the first time because I was like, I'm going to try this. And I really liked it. I liked the fact that, you took it down and it was just months and months later before you have to worry about putting all that stuff up. Because that can kind of be aggravating. When you have young kids at home or you get older, you hate to spend all that time putting that Christmas tree up just for, 1 month later to have to put all of it up. So that was super nice. I'm gonna trim some of the edge. I got a little bit longer than the other side. All right, so there's our edge. You don't see anything. We just pinched it together all the way around. A little time consuming, but worth it. Not having to worry about what your edge looks like. Let's see. I got like evidently a little bit of smudge on my jeans right there, which I think that would cover it up because I really like this side better. All right, so we're just gonna take our top. We're gonna, center it. You can eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I wanna make sure my seam goes on at least one of my little seam lines. All right, so put it all on the edge. Now you can go back because this is a pretty tiny edge. I'm looking at it. It is kind of tiny. And if you don't get a good bond, it still doesn't matter because some of it went down on my jeans right there. And let me let it make a little bead. Okay. Y'all. Put it closer to one side than the other, and that's my front, which is okay. So, but if you think you need to go back and put some more glue around the edge, you're gonna put a band on it or your decoration, so it's not the end of the world if you do that. So if I got this long little, I'm glad that's right in the front where I'm gonna put stuff because I had like a long little drip right there. All right, so there's our hat so far. Now on my last one, I used like a band of a burlap material. I went with kind of this bandana material was my main thing, and I put a little piece of cotton. But I want to actually put a little bit more red, white, and blue things in that because I feel like that hat, I could go on into the fall with that because I have that cotton on it. All right, so we're going to kind of set that to the side. And I've got like a tray of just all kind of stuff because I want a rag material. I really want to make a long like ribbon cascade bow for it. Even got some of this lace out trim. But, I have these pieces of bandana from the other night when we were doing the thing. I have a start of a little ribbon tail right here. That's got just different ribbons in it. And then I got some of my newer ribbon out. But I'm thinking, not that I don't love this, I got this scarf at the Dollar Tree. I think we've already kind of cut on it. This is kind of what I want my band to be. Like the the base of it instead of the burlap this time. So that's my back. So I'm gonna pick whichever side, and we're gonna pick this side. And I'm just gonna tie this on here. And I'm gonna tie a knot, but let me kind of pull it up so it'll have the width of a good band. Because it kind of has all the colors that I want to put on here. It even has a little bit of burlap brown in here. You can see that that's a star. And then it drapes really good too. And I just got this scarf at the Dollar Tree. It has like little trucks on it too. Okay. It didn't go quite as, no, that's the back. Hold on. Went a little bit more. I didn't think it went enough. Okay, so gonna be a little bit over to the side because this is the back. Just, you know, this is the front, just slightly to the side. But I think cascading down in the front would be really cute. Especially you could hang it up like this, but all right, so we're just gonna put different things on it, y'all. I'm gonna take this, and I already have it with a clip on the top, a pipe cleaner on the top of it. But I'm thinking some of my ribbon I can add to this pipe cleaner. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. I got a tree for each of my kids when they were born. That's what started it all. Oh, Nancy, that's so awesome. And y'all, I'm one of those people that, you know, people do theme trees and they're so beautiful. But I can really never do a themed Christmas tree because, you know, I have to put all those ornaments that my kids made in school. You know, the stuff that has their fingerprints on them and, you know, all kind of stuff like that. So, you know, I'm stuck with just a traditional, put all of the ornaments I have on it. It always turns out really pretty, but, you know, I just have to do that. Okay. All right, now we can put some of our ragnet. But I love, this is a new ribbon I got from Carolina. No, maybe I got it from Hobby Lobby. Yes, I did. This came from Hobby Lobby. This came from Carolina Pottery. But this is kind of really already distressed, and I'm really loving that color. This is something I just got from the Dollar Tree. I just want to have like a pretty big tail on it. This is probably the one time that I would prefer to not have wire in my ribbon. But y'all know I have wire in everything I do. I think these are some pieces we already cut up. Love my pencil tree. Yes, me too. Okay. The lace I really like too. Just kind of bring some of that old school in there. You know, Martha Washington old, which is what Buffy says that I am. Muslin is really good, or canvas material, especially for that. It just has that old feel to it. And it's not stark white when you want to do that country stuff. All right, gingham, always a good color. Make these a little bit wider. And then last, I have some star material to put a little bit of this more, you know, red, white, and blue, that navy blue in it versus, you know, my light jean color. All right, do I have a hem on both ends? No, just this hem. Okay. All right, y'all. Easy craft, easy craft. And I really like this. I feel like you won't be able to see it, so I want to save this. This is one of my newer ones. All right. So look at this, y'all. How massive that is and how pretty it's going to be. I mean, in any way you flip it, you know, it brings out more colors in it. You just have to see what you like. And I'm going, where is my, we'll use, I think I actually have a light blue one up here. Be kind of closer to my denim than that one. Let's see. Wish I had brought a little wooden star up here, like as like a little button centerpiece. Would have been pretty cute. All right, so I'm just going to, I don't want to put that in the front. I think it'll just take away from it. So we'll go down. I'm going to go down into my bow. Well, my knot that I tied in the, so I'm going to like this hat, but it's going to be a whole lot different. And I'll show you what I did on the other one. Because I love the other one too. It just, this one, a little bit more like, you know, maybe patriotic. Mine, I went more patriotic / super farmhouse. Let's see. Trying to think if I brought a star up here. I think a wooden star in the center of this would just be that little touch it needed. Okay. Okay. There we go. You know, we've still got this, but we've just got, and you know, just find, you know, your favorite part of the ribbon. I think if I put this on top of it, this would just, you know, it's really thick, the scarf, and it would cover everything up. I like the red kind of being on top because there's so much blue in it. But let's make it not the primary. I like the white, and here's a star ribbon. Yeah, okay, so there we go. More star. But I love it. I think it'll be really cute. I had some kind of, I have like some things to set it on, but I wish I would have brought them over here. Like we had like a little hat stand. You know, you could put it forward. We could put it on the corner of our mantelpiece. But there's a lot of things that you can do with this hat. But let me show you the other one because I did a little bit more trim on it. I don't think it'd be the end of the world if you put it, but I wouldn't put it as big as I put it on the other one. Maybe just a little bit of jute around the edge. But the other one, I put a really big jute. I did it the same way, pinched them together the same way, but I put the biggest cord. First I put a burlap ribbon, then I tied my bandana, and I just ragged my bandana all the way down. And then I put a couple pieces of the little cotton picks in there. And these are the leaves that came on the cotton pick, but they're like burlap, you know, and they have wire on them. You can manipulate them anyway. And like I said, I love this one, but I just wanted something just a little bit more, you know, patriotic. So look at Chris's jeans versus my jeans on here. Oh, I did Chris's on the other side. So, you know, I love this too, but I just wanted something a little bit more patriotic. And I love all those ribbons. Different ribbons, different materials. It seems like a lot, but when you know, if you set it on your mantle and cascade down the side, it'd be a cute, like, corner piece. But, you know, now I've got a he and a she, you know, and I'm like a little bit more fancier than Chris with my hat. So, I'm glad y'all like this. I hope it gave you something to do with a pair of old jeans. Fold all my material back. Les, thank you so much, Rosemary, for sharing that. Listen, if you're not a member of Sin's Crafters, please click on that button. You don't have to fill out any kind of questions or anything. It'll just say join. It'll have like a little join button. Push that. It gives me sends me a message, and I just hit accept. I accept everybody. And that's where all of us crafters on Sin's Crafting Bin post our crafts. A lot of these crafters get inspiration and crafts from other crafters who have shows like mine. They put their own twist on it. And you don't have to post anything. I mean, you could just look at everybody else's posts. You know, some people are kind of shy about their crafts and they don't want to put them on here. And you don't have to, but you can still be a member and look at the other crafts, because sometimes crafters ask questions like, which bow do you think's bigger? And you know, we're all here to help each other and have a good time doing it. And I ought to go put these shorts on when I get off of here and tell Chris that I bought me a new pair of shorts today. And I just want to see if he likes them. One leg is longer than the other too, so it really looks, this is probably what my jeans would look like if I attempted to make Daisy Dukes. You know, and then you keep cutting them, trying to even them out. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to say, you like my new shorts? I mean, they'll probably be skin tight. Because, you know, these stretchy kind, they're tight, but they stretch. And the jeans aren't so bad, but you wouldn't want to wear shorts like that. What did you use for the hat? A Folgers, well, it's not a Folgers can. It's the metal coffee cans, but they only had the Great Value where I live. Folgers, it was all the plastic ones. So Mimi needed some coffee, so I went and got this coffee and put it in her Folgers thing when she didn't care. She said coffee was coffee. So I told her next time she needs some for Chris to get other ones, because there's probably tons of more crafts that we can do with that container. But yeah, isn't that funny? At the bottom, yeah, I got to like put them in the washing machine so they'll like unravel a little bit. Yeah, he'll probably look at me and go, "You're not leaving the house with this." Not because he's some jealous person, but because he don't want to be seen with some harlot looking lady who's way too old for Daisy Dukes. But if they fit, he just has to deal with it. Because I'll be like, "Oh, look at my Daisy Dukes." And Lord have mercy, if I worked in the yard with these, can you imagine me bending over and somebody pulling up in the yard? They'll be like, "Oh my Lord, look at Chris's wife, her butt's all hanging out her pants." Lord, and it'll be like, "Lord bless Chris." It'll be like, "Bless his heart, he's stuck with her." Lace brim, yes, a lace brim would look really pretty. I mean, I'm thinking even like if you just did burlap on it would be pretty awesome. Especially for my primitive girls out there, you know. And it's denim. I mean, it's a material, so you can paint on it. Like if you wanted to do like polka dots, just to give yourself something different, or if you wanted to paint like stars on it. If you had a stencil that said red, white, and blue. I mean, you've got a pretty big canvas here that you could do anything you wanted. Like I'm thinking I may find a star to put right there. Maybe one of my stars. Hold on, let me look over here. I think all I have is one of those big ones that I got in from Hobby Lobby. Not Hobby Lobby, from the Dollar Tree. Remember when I went Saturday, just ran in there, showed y'all what I got? Or was it Friday? I'm thinking even one of those oversized ones. But, because I even like the glitter. Like if I took one of these. And like I said, sometimes I like the glitter. I really like this red, white, and blue one, but I mean not red, white, blue. This white and red stripe one. See, it just comes off this little piece of stuff super easy. But put a little star in the center here, or even your blue one. Let's try the blue one. I think the blue one, I don't know which one I like, but even putting the little blue one there, just something in the center. If you have a little, I don't think I have any little stars. I'll have to look. Something, if you, a lot of crafters make those little flowers out of material. You could put one of those right there in the center. You could put like an old brooch of some kind in there, but I think it would be really cute. You and husband wear them, take pictures. I wish I could get my big old head in this little hole, but that's not happening. It'll just be like, one of those hats where they don't put them on. Hold on. in those movies and they just, hold on. They just sit. I hate this mirror stuff. They just sit on the side of your head. You can play small red, white, and blue flower each. Yes. We have some flowers from the Dollar Tree that have stripes on them or solid. Let's see. Ooh, and you know, one of these has like a little star in it. Does one of these picks have a star or something in it? Yes, this one does. All right, so let's see. Because, you know, I just feel like it needs something in the center. And these are the little picks at the Dollar Tree right now. That is just maybe some carnations. But they have a little glitter kind of in the center of each flower. I don't know if you can see the center. These are pretty cool. And I think I even grabbed 2 or 3 more of these this year. And I didn't do anything with them last year. So I don't know why. And I had some from last year and this year. But that would be really cute, especially if you just put, you know, like one of each. Hold on. Or in this one pick, and these are roses and they got some glitter on the end. It has a star. I don't see a red one. It just has a blue and a white. But that would look pretty cool just to put that star in the center. Let's see. I got all my, you know, us Southerners with our bow. Just put, you know, a little star in the center. I don't know if I could deal with all that stuff on it. Because, you know, this is just such a, like a good tradition in here. I didn't put this cheap old thing in the center. But I think I'm really liking these 2 flowers in it. We can just pull those off. This one looks like it's in better shape. And put like one, because this is really close to that color. So I like that color. And maybe one of those. Yes, I like that. So let's do that. Which I don't know what I'm gluing that to. But hopefully it'll stick to something. They're poppies. Oh. They're pretty. Vixen say you can add length to the shorts by adding some material. Listen, those pants are going to, I have cut this up for craft heaven. Kentucky Derby, here we come. That's right. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool with the little flowers because this seems really close to this color, and that kind of is a little, I know this is probably the correct color, but I'm more of this color or this color when it comes to, you know, I don't want something really bright. But, yeah, it just needed something in the center, but I like that. I like the stripes showing, these showing. You got the white, this, then you got some gingham in there, some different material. I mean, it just depends. However you want to lay it, where you display it, on what you want to be, you know, your prominent ribbon. But I love it. And y'all make y'all some hats. Even if you make a small version, if you got like a small can of green beans or something, you can make a smaller version of this. And then you could use your little grandkids or kids' pants. But if you do make them, please show me. Like, I could use this and put it in my wreath as, like, you know, part of the wreath. Which, you know, I may just do that. I want to make a new kind of ribbon. But see the edges? I use the edges for this rope. I wouldn't use such a big rope on this, but maybe the smaller jute if you wanted to put around the edges, because we've got a little bit of that brown in the scarf itself. So I don't think it would be the end of the world if you did that, but I don't really think you need it. I just liked this because I went a little bit more rustic with the cotton. But on this, I just feel like it doesn't need it. I almost like it with the jean thing showing on the front. You know what I mean? Or maybe we can just do that's the side. And I kind of like that kind of showing. It kind of gives it that overalls, you know, I like it that way better. So we'll put it like that. All right, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. And look at us finishing a craft in 1 hour and 15 minutes. Woo, woo. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, I like those smaller red and blue with the white flowers. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I really, there's some crafts I can get into the glitter. And I guess maybe 4th of July is one, because you think of sparklers, that kind of stuff. But I don't, that stuff is kind of like that dusting stuff that, I don't even know, it's like a plastic dusting. So, I don't think I could have used that. You know what I mean? It's not in my color wheel. Save the back pockets to make flower arrangements. Oh my gosh. Y'all, the best. Yes, look, y'all, what she's saying is you can take the pocket. You probably could put the pocket like maybe on the side over here and put your stuff out of the pocket. I love crafting with y'all. That is so awesome. I don't want to cut it up just to show you, but she's saying put that pocket on there and then you can put the stuff out of the pocket. Is that not cool? And this is kind of the cool stuff to where, if you have like old jeans of, like your dad's or something, or, some people just like Chris, I'll probably keep all of his button up shirts if something happened to him one day and make pillows. I saw people make pillows out of them for their children and all that. I'm like, Chris, I was like, I wouldn't donate your clothes anywhere. I'd probably be making things out of them just so I could hang on to you. But Ronnie says, you mean she throw this fast. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about my jeans. Yep, put the flowers in the back pockets. Put the then put them on. Yeah. Can use them for garden apron. You sure can. Firecrackers in the pocket. I know, especially the little firecrackers we made in the church, in the truck, when we made them out of the little, remember stems that they had at the Dollar Tree in the fall? That would be really cute. Little firecrackers. Y'all are so awesome. But this is why we have Sien's crafters and stuff, and why you do this, because people just need inspiration. You kind of just get going and you start feeding off each other, and it just makes your crafts so awesome. I know there are people out there that craft alone and they may come up with all this, but to me, I need inspiration to help me, and I hope you do too. And I have such a good time with y'all. Just warning to move to cellar or somewhere safe. Girl, go get something somewhere safe. Oh gosh, y'all got warning with your hail and all that. I am so sorry. And I'm missing it. Just warning to move to the cellar. Oh my gosh, yes. Go get in there. You can watch the replay, girl. It'll be on Facebook. We're leaving, so we won't talk about anything while you're gone. Miss Martha, I love y'all too. And y'all have a good evening, and I will see y'all tomorrow.